You won't believe what happens next. A spaceship cruising at full power, like my dinner tonight. After that crash, the shit started showing more system errors, and Jim was the only awake one. Talk about a one-man party. All Jim could do was chat with Arthur, hardly a way to keep his humanity, more like playing chess with a robot. Living in a luxury suite in Vienna, shooting hoops and playing dance games, feeling like a king in space, yet still as lonely as a dog. After some time, Jim started using the garbage chute to interact with the vacuum cleaner. In less than a year, Jim turned into a couch potato, holding a bottle and watching the sleeping passengers like he was in an envy convention. After tossing the bottle, he found a compartment with 2 spacesuits. Once suited up, he felt like a space superhero. Jim pressed the pressure button and stepped out of the ship for the first time. After looking around, he hit the magnetic button and whoosh floated into the infinite void. Faced with the dark, mysterious universe, Jim wept, realizing his life was smaller than a speck of dust compared to those shining stars. Back in the airlock, just when Jim thought he could leave, he suddenly turned around like, wait, I'm not ready. He thought waiting for death was worse than becoming space dust. So Jim raised his hand, pointing at that button. Anxious Jim was hurt not by his body but by his weak heart. He was really scared of the pain. When he got up and accidentally looked back, it was like peeling away his humanity's mask. Jim finally checked out a woman's info. Turns out she was. Her name was Aurora Lane, a writer. Watching her videos, Jim felt a new possibility for life, as if he found a hidden treasure. He was eating and reading Aurora's work simultaneously, realizing too late had crossed all moral boundaries. Every day, Jim discussed Aurora with Arthur. More talk led to a crazy mental split, like a wild brainstorm. Jim felt both pain and joy at the thought of waking Aurora, but deep down he knew it was a disaster for her. She had no choice in the matter. Regardless of how much Jim wrestled within himself, from the very moment he caught sight of Ryan, Pandora's box had been opened, and Jim eagerly anticipated that moment of awakening. Seeing Aurora awake, Jim's mood swiftly changed from excitement to fear. He knew a brainless murder was imminent. Seizing the moment, Jim rushed back to his room with the gear as Aurora awoke, lacking the courage to commit suicide yet brave enough for murder, a true survival instinct. Mixed emotions had him on edge. As the elevator moved, Jim cautiously stepped into the central hall like he was entering a haunted house. He finally encountered a confused Aurora, just like he was before. What a sight to see another him. Jim said reaching new home would take 89 years due to ship issues. Early risers have it tough. Aurora couldn't believe it. She tried to open the control room door and ended up back in the chill room looking for a spare part. After a brief collapse, Jim shared his year and 3-week isolation experience with Aurora, explaining how he had tried every method and none worked. Facing Aurora's breakdown, Jim knew he had to give her time. What a dramatic show. After Aurora returned to her room, Jim found Arthur hatching a shady plan. He had Arthur keep his secret, never let Aurora know he was the one who woke her. Talk about the movie plot twist. As time passed, with Jim around, Aurora quickly adapted to spaceship life. She felt right at home again. Using a homemade robot, Jim officially invited Aurora out. Such a gentleman among robots. No surprises there. Aurora smiled and jotted down her reply. Dressed in a snazzy suit, Jim personally greeted her just like a dream date. They kicked off with drinks at Arthur's, then enjoyed a romantic dinner. Call it the astronauts' version of date night. Wearing spacesuits, they stepped out of the ship. Jim was emotional, finally sharing the galaxy with his love, while Aurora felt exceptionally lucky. Night fell, and Jim got his wish fulfilled. Aurora basked in affection. It felt like one grand adventure. In the days that followed, Jim basked in the happy world, slowly forgetting his crimes like it was a bad dream. He stumbled upon the plant cultivation room when he saw some roses. Aurora thought romance was everywhere, even in space. As the ship passed by Betelgeuse for a gravitational boost, only Jim and Aurora witnessed this magnificent sight, a personal anniversary of love. Betelgeuse witnessed their love and the fragility of humanity, truly a meeting of heaven and earth. Back at the bar, Aurora told Arthur she and Jim were inseparable, with no secrets. What a serendipitous twist. So when Jim went to the bathroom to propose, the vibe with Arthur and Aurora turned into a misunderstanding. Jim and Aurora's marriage was quietly unfolding. What a tangled whirlwind. Time seemed to intertwine across different worlds, and Aurora felt a change during Jim's ring preparations. Right at that very moment, Arthur divulged an earth-shattering secret, leaving Aurora feeling as if she had been struck by a thunderbolt. Upon hearing that Jim was the culprit, doubt surged in Aurora's mind about everything before her. Faced with this situation, Jim was utterly helpless, feeling trapped in an endless echo. Subtitles. Aurora collapsed in fury, though her roars could not stir up any ripples in the universe. They filled the entire space with emotions. She lashed out at the man who ruined her life, yet when she picked up a steel pipe, her restraint was palpable. Talk about mixed feelings. Maybe a remnant of humanity held her back, or the fear of an eternally lonely life loomed large. Jim confessed his love to Aurora over the intercom. Talk about a space-age confession. Subtitles. But for Rain, these one-sided emotions aimed at self-comfort were utterly insignificant, truly akin to a mere prank.